Let's get ready for the Delaware real estate exam with 100 questions covering key state laws, principles, and practices you'll need to know. And keep an eye on the bottom corner. There's something there that could make a big difference in your prep. We'll tell you how to use it in just a minute. Now, let's get started.
Let's get started with a review of some Delaware licensing requirements and procedures. Delaware licensing requirements and procedures. What is the minimum age requirement to obtain a real estate license in Delaware? Is it A, 16 years, B, 21 years, C, 18 years, or D, 20 years? The answer is C, 18 years. In Delaware, individuals must be at least 18 years old to qualify for a real estate license. This aligns with the general legal age of adulthood, ensuring applicants can legally enter contracts. How many hours of pre-licensing education are required in Delaware for a real estate salesperson? Is it A, 75 hours, B, 99 hours, C, 120 hours, or D, 60 hours? The answer is B, 99 hours. Delaware mandates 99 hours of pre-licensing education for aspiring real estate salespersons. This comprehensive education ensures that candidates are well prepared for the responsibilities of the profession.
Have you noticed the code in the bottom corner? Next time you're stumped, take that code to birdsy.ai for immediate help and a free study session with Birdsy, your personal AI study partner. Plus, you'll get access to hundreds of additional questions, helping you move closer to passing your exam with confidence. The next time you're feeling unsure or stuck, give it a try.
Which of the following is a requirement for maintaining an active real estate license in Delaware? Is it A, passing a new licensing exam every year, B, submitting a new application each year, C, completing required continuing education courses, or D, paying a monthly licensing fee? The answer is C, completing required continuing education courses. To maintain an active real estate license in Delaware, licensees must complete continuing education courses. This ensures that licensees remain informed about changes in laws and industry practices. Continuing education requirements. What is the minimum number of continuing education hours required for real estate license renewal in Delaware? Is it A, 15 hours, B, 21 hours, C, 25 hours, or D, 30 hours? The answer is B, 21 hours. In Delaware, real estate licensees must complete 21 hours of continuing education every 2 years to renew their license. This ensures they remain knowledgeable about current laws and practices. Which of the following topics is mandatory in Delaware's continuing education requirements for real estate licensees? Is it A, luxury real estate marketing, B, environmental hazards, C, legislative updates, or D, commercial property management? The answer is C, legislative updates. Delaware mandates that licensees complete education on legislative updates as part of their continuing education, ensuring they are informed of changes in laws and regulations. How often must a Delaware real estate licensee complete their continuing education requirements? Is it A, every 2 years, B, annually, C, every 3 years, or D, every 5 years? The answer is A, every 2 years. Delaware real estate licensees must complete their continuing education requirements every 2 years. This biennial cycle helps maintain their professional competency and adherence to current standards. What happens if a Delaware real estate licensee fails to complete their continuing education requirements by the renewal deadline? Is it A, they receive a fine, B, their license is permanently revoked, C, they are required to take additional courses, or D, their license becomes inactive? The answer is D, their license becomes inactive. If a licensee fails to meet the continuing education requirements by the renewal deadline, their license becomes inactive. They must fulfill the requirements before they can reactivate their license. Delaware-specific exam structure and content. What is the time limit to complete the Delaware real estate licensing exam? Is it A, 2 hours, B, 3 hours, C, 4 hours, or D, 5 hours? The answer is C, 4 hours. The Delaware real estate licensing exam typically allows candidates a specific time to complete all questions. Understanding the time limit is crucial for effective time management during the exam. How many questions are typically on the Delaware real estate licensing exam? Is it A, 110 questions, B, 100 questions, C, 120 questions, or D, 90 questions? The answer is A, 110 questions. The Delaware real estate licensing exam generally consists of 110 questions, covering both national and state-specific content. This ensures comprehensive assessment of knowledge. What is the minimum passing score for the Delaware real estate licensing exam? Is it A, 60%, B, 65%, C, 70%, or D, 75%? The answer is C, 70%. The Delaware real estate licensing exam requires a minimum passing score of 70% to ensure candidates have sufficient understanding of both Delaware-specific and national real estate practices. Let's continue with Delaware real estate laws and regulations. Delaware-specific fair housing laws. Which of the following is a protected class under Delaware's fair housing laws? Is it A, political affiliation, B, sexual orientation, C, educational level, or D, employment status? The answer is B, sexual orientation. Delaware's fair housing laws protect individuals against discrimination based on race, color, national origin, religion, sex, familial status, disability, and sexual orientation. These protections ensure equal housing opportunities. A landlord in Delaware refuses to rent to a family because they have children. What law does this violate? Is it A, Fair Housing Act, B, Americans with Disabilities Act, C, Equal Credit Opportunity Act, or D, Civil Rights Act of 1964? The answer is A, Fair Housing Act. This action violates the Fair Housing Act, which prohibits discrimination based on familial status. This includes families with children under the age of 18 living with parents or legal custodians. In Delaware, which agency enforces fair housing laws? Is it A, Delaware Department of Health, B, Delaware Real Estate Commission, C, Delaware Division of Human Relations, or D, Delaware Housing Authority? The answer is C, Delaware Division of Human Relations. The Delaware Division of Human Relations is responsible for enforcing fair housing laws, ensuring compliance, and addressing complaints related to housing discrimination. What is a possible consequence for a landlord found guilty of housing discrimination in Delaware? Is it A, loss of real estate license, B, mandatory community service, C, public apology, or D, fines and damages? The answer is D, fines and damages. Landlords found guilty of discrimination can face penalties such as fines, damages to victims, and mandatory changes in their rental practices to prevent future discrimination. Under Delaware fair housing laws, which scenario could be considered discriminatory? Is it A, refusing to rent due to poor credit history, B, refusing to rent based on national origin, C, refusing to rent to smokers, or D, refusing to rent to pet owners? The answer is B, refusing to rent based on national origin. Refusing to rent based on national origin is discriminatory under Delaware's fair housing laws, which protect individuals from discrimination based on national origin, among other factors. What is the maximum penalty for a first-time violation of Delaware fair housing laws by a real estate professional? Is it A, $5,000, B, $7,500, C, $10,000, or D, $12,500? The answer is C, $10,000. Delaware fair housing laws impose penalties for violations, including fines. The maximum penalty for a first-time offense is $10,000, reflecting the seriousness of discriminatory practices.
If you're finding this helpful, please take a minute to like this video and subscribe to our channel for more practice exams, useful tips, and complimentary study sessions with Birdsy.
Delaware-specific contract requirements. Which document is required to be provided to a buyer in Delaware before a contract for the sale of a residential property is signed? Is it A, title insurance policy, B, home warranty, C, seller's disclosure of real property condition report, or D, appraisal report? The answer is C, seller's disclosure of real property condition report. In Delaware, sellers must provide a seller's disclosure of real property condition report before a residential sales contract is signed to inform buyers about the property's condition. Under Delaware law, how long does a buyer have to review and cancel a timeshare contract after signing? Is it A, 3 days, B, 5 days, C, 7 days, or D, 10 days? The answer is B, 5 days. Delaware law grants buyers a 5-day rescission period for timeshare contracts, allowing them to cancel the agreement without penalty within this time frame. What is the purpose of the Delaware Mandatory Consumer Information Statement in real estate transactions? Is it A, to inform consumers about agency relationships and duties, B, to provide a list of registered real estate agents, C, to outline the penalties for contract breaches, or D, to specify the closing costs involved? The answer is A, to inform consumers about agency relationships and duties. The Delaware Mandatory Consumer Information Statement informs consumers about the types of agency relationships available in real estate transactions and the duties owed by agents to clients. In Delaware, what is the primary role of the Real Estate Commission concerning contract forms? Is it A, to draft all real estate contracts, B, to negotiate terms on behalf of buyers, C, to provide legal advice on contracts, or D, to approve standard contract forms? The answer is D, to approve standard contract forms. The Delaware Real Estate Commission's primary role is to approve standard contract forms used by real estate professionals to ensure compliance with legal requirements and protect consumer interests. What is a key requirement for electronic signatures on real estate contracts in Delaware? Is it A, they must be notarized electronically, B, they must comply with the Uniform Electronic Transactions Act, C, they must be witnessed by a real estate agent, or D, they must be accompanied by a digital certificate? The answer is B, they must comply with the Uniform Electronic Transactions Act. Electronic signatures on real estate contracts in Delaware must comply with the Uniform Electronic Transactions Act, ensuring they are legally binding and equivalent to handwritten signatures. Overview of Delaware real estate statutes. What is the primary purpose of the Delaware Real Estate Commission? Is it A, to regulate the real estate profession and protect public interests, B, to provide financial assistance to first-time homebuyers, C, to manage state-owned properties, or D, to set property tax rates in Delaware? The answer is A, to regulate the real estate profession and protect public interests. The Delaware Real Estate Commission regulates the real estate profession, ensuring compliance with state laws and protecting public interests. It oversees licensing, education, and disciplinary actions for real estate professionals. Which of the following is required for a real estate licensee to maintain their license in Delaware? Is it A, passing an annual examination, B, completing continuing education requirements, C, submitting monthly transaction reports, or D, attending quarterly commission meetings? The answer is B, completing continuing education requirements. In Delaware, real estate licensees must complete continuing education requirements every 2 years to maintain their license. This ensures they stay current with industry practices and legal changes. Under Delaware law, what must be included in a real estate contract to make it enforceable? Is it A, a notary public's signature, B, a witness signature, C, signatures of all parties involved, or D, a minimum down payment of 10%? The answer is C, signatures of all parties involved. An enforceable real estate contract in Delaware must include a legal description of the property, terms of the sale, and signatures of all parties involved. This ensures clarity and mutual agreement. What is the role of the Delaware Real Estate Commission in handling complaints against licensees? Is it A, to provide legal representation for licensees, B, to mediate disputes between buyers and sellers, C, to offer educational courses for licensees, or D, to investigate and discipline licensees for violations? The answer is D, to investigate and discipline licensees for violations. The Delaware Real Estate Commission investigates complaints against licensees, ensuring adherence to laws and ethical standards. It can impose disciplinary actions, including fines or license suspension, if violations are found. Let's test your understanding of Delaware property ownership and land use. Types of property ownership, e.g. fee simple, leasehold, joint tenancy. What type of property ownership in Delaware allows for the greatest control and rights over the property? Is it A, fee simple, B, leasehold, C, joint tenancy, or D, tenancy in common? The answer is A, fee simple. Fee simple ownership provides the owner with the most comprehensive rights, including the ability to sell, lease, or bequeath the property. It is the most common and absolute form of property ownership. Which form of property ownership involves co-owners having equal shares with the right of survivorship? Is it A, tenancy in common, B, leasehold, C, joint tenancy, or D, fee simple? The answer is C, joint tenancy. Joint tenancy is a form of co-ownership where each owner has an equal share and the right of survivorship, meaning upon the death of one owner, their share automatically passes to the surviving owners. In Delaware, which type of property ownership allows an owner to pass their interest to heirs rather than co-owners? Is it A, joint tenancy, B, tenancy in common, C, leasehold, or D, fee simple? The answer is B, tenancy in common. Tenancy in common allows owners to pass their interest to heirs. Unlike joint tenancy, it does not include the right of survivorship, meaning shares can be inherited. Which property ownership type is typically used for apartments in Delaware, where the occupant has rights for a specified period? Is it A, fee simple, B, tenancy in common, C, joint tenancy, or D, leasehold? The answer is D, leasehold. Leasehold is common in apartment living, where tenants have the right to occupy the property for a set period under a lease agreement without ownership rights. What distinguishes tenancy by the entirety from other forms of ownership in Delaware? Is it A, it allows for unequal ownership shares, B, it can be used by any co-owners, C, it is exclusive to married couples with survivorship rights, or D, It does not include survivorship rights. The answer is C. It is exclusive to married couples with survivorship rights. Tenancy by the entirety is exclusive to married couples, offering protection from individual creditors and including rights of survivorship, ensuring the property passes to the surviving spouse. Public versus private land use controls. Which of the following is a primary purpose of zoning laws in Delaware? Is it A, to increase property taxes, B, to promote private land ownership, C, to regulate land use and maintain community welfare, or D, to encourage commercial development? The answer is C, to regulate land use and maintain community welfare. Zoning laws in Delaware are designed to regulate land use, ensuring orderly development and separation of incompatible uses, such as industrial and residential areas, to maintain community welfare. What is a characteristic of a public land use control in Delaware? Is it A, enforced by private homeowners, B, implemented by government entities, C, voluntary guidelines for land use, or D, only applicable to commercial properties? The answer is B, implemented by government entities. Public land use controls, such as zoning laws, are implemented by government entities to regulate land use and development to protect public interests and community welfare. What is a primary function of private land use controls in Delaware? Is it A, to impose conditions on property use, B, to override zoning laws, C, to increase property values, or D, to manage public land resources? The answer is A, to impose conditions on property use. Private land use controls, such as covenants and deed restrictions, are used by property owners to impose specific conditions or limitations on the use of their property. How do zoning variances function in Delaware land use control? Is it A, by changing zoning laws permanently, B, by eliminating zoning requirements, C, by enforcing stricter zoning controls, or D, by allowing exceptions to zoning regulations? The answer is D, by allowing exceptions to zoning regulations. Zoning variances allow property owners to use their land in a way that deviates from zoning regulations, providing flexibility while maintaining the overall zoning plan's integrity. Which statement best describes the difference between public and private land use controls in Delaware? Is it A, both are enforced by government agencies, B, both regulate public land use, C, public controls are government imposed, private are owner imposed, or D, private controls override public controls? The answer is C, public controls are government imposed, private are owner imposed. Public land use controls are government-imposed regulations like zoning laws, while private controls are agreed upon by property owners, like covenants and deed restrictions.
Notice the code in the corner? When you're stumped by a question, enter it at birdsy.ai for immediate help. Enjoy complimentary study sessions and access to hundreds of additional questions to help you pass your exam with confidence.
Land use and zoning laws. What is the primary purpose of zoning laws in Delaware? Is it A, to increase property taxes, B, to regulate land use and development, C, to provide public utilities, or D, to control environmental pollution? The answer is B, to regulate land use and development. Zoning laws in Delaware are primarily designed to regulate land use to ensure orderly development, protect property values, and maintain the character of communities. They categorize land into zones for residential, commercial, industrial, and other uses. Which entity is typically responsible for enforcing zoning regulations in Delaware? Is it A, local government, B, state government, C, federal government, or D, homeowners associations? The answer is A, local government. In Delaware, local governments, such as city or county planning departments, are usually responsible for enforcing zoning laws. They ensure compliance with zoning ordinances and manage zoning changes. What is a variance in the context of Delaware zoning laws? Is it A, a change in property ownership, B, a temporary construction permit, C, a legal exception to zoning rules, or D, an increase in property taxes? The answer is C, a legal exception to zoning rules. A variance is a legal exception to zoning regulations, allowing property owners to use their land in a way that deviates from zoning requirements. It is granted when strict compliance would cause undue hardship. How can a property owner in Delaware appeal a zoning decision? Is it A, by petitioning the state legislature, B, by contacting the governor's office, C, by suing in federal court, or D, by filing with the Zoning Board of Adjustment? The answer is D, by filing with the Zoning Board of Adjustment. In Delaware, property owners can appeal zoning decisions by filing a request with the local Zoning Board of Adjustment. This board reviews the case and decides whether to uphold or overturn the decision. Condominiums and HOAs. What is the primary function of a homeowners association in a Delaware condominium community? Is it A, to manage individual unit sales, B, to maintain common areas and enforce community rules, C, to provide legal advice to residents, or D, to oversee local government policies? The answer is B, to maintain common areas and enforce community rules. An HOA in a Delaware condominium community primarily manages common areas and enforces community rules. This includes maintaining shared spaces and ensuring compliance with community standards and regulations. Which document typically outlines the rules and regulations for a condominium association in Delaware? Is it A, deed of trust, B, property title, C, condominium bylaws, or D, rental agreement? The answer is C, condominium bylaws. The condominium bylaws outline the rules and regulations for a condominium association in Delaware, detailing governance structures and resident responsibilities. In Delaware, what percentage of unit owners must agree to amend the condominium declaration? Is it A, 25%, B, 50%, C, 60%, or D, 67%? The answer is D, 67%. Amending the condominium declaration in Delaware typically requires the approval of at least 67% of unit owners, ensuring significant consensus for substantial changes. What is a common responsibility of a condominium board in Delaware? Is it A, managing the association's budget, B, providing personal loans to residents, C, setting state property tax rates, or D, enforcing federal housing laws? The answer is A, managing the association's budget. A common responsibility of a condominium board in Delaware is to manage the association's budget, ensuring financial resources are appropriately allocated for maintenance and community needs. What must a Delaware condominium association provide to prospective buyers before a sale? Is it A, a copy of the bylaws, B, a resale certificate, C, a maintenance schedule, or D, a list of current board members? The answer is B, a resale certificate. In Delaware, condominium associations are required to provide a resale certificate to prospective buyers. This document includes important information about the association, financial status, and any pending assessments. Environmental issues and coastal zone management. What is the primary purpose of Delaware's Coastal Zone Act? Is it A, to promote industrial development along the coast, B, to prevent environmental degradation of coastal areas, C, to encourage tourism in coastal regions, or D, to regulate fishing activities in coastal waters? The answer is B, to prevent environmental degradation of coastal areas. The Coastal Zone Act aims to protect Delaware's coastal areas from industrial development that could harm the environment, ensuring sustainable use of natural resources. Which of the following is a key factor in determining land use regulations in Delaware? Is it A, historical significance, B, population density, C, zoning laws, or D, climate conditions? The answer is C, zoning laws. Zoning laws are crucial in determining how land can be used, balancing development needs with environmental protection and community standards. How does Delaware's Coastal Zone Act impact industrial expansion? Is it A, it restricts new heavy industrial activities, B, it encourages industrial expansion with incentives, C, it has no impact on industrial activities, or D, it promotes industrial activities in non-coastal areas? The answer is A, it restricts new heavy industrial activities. The Act restricts new heavy industrial activities in the coastal zone, aiming to preserve natural habitats and prevent environmental harm. What is a significant environmental concern addressed by Delaware's land use policies? Is it A, urban sprawl, B, air quality, C, noise pollution, or D, wetland preservation? The answer is D, wetland preservation. Wetland preservation is crucial due to their role in flood control, water filtration, and as habitats, making them a key focus of environmental policies. Let's continue with Delaware agency law and ethics. Agency relationship laws. Under Delaware agency law, which of the following is a fiduciary duty owed by an agent to their client? Is it A, profitability, B, independence, C, confidentiality, or D, flexibility? The answer is C, confidentiality. Fiduciary duties in Delaware include loyalty, obedience, disclosure, confidentiality, accounting, and reasonable care. These duties ensure agents act in the best interest of their clients. What is required for an agency relationship to be legally established in Delaware? Is it A, written agreement, B, verbal consent, C, implied actions, or D, third-party approval? The answer is A, written agreement. In Delaware, an agency relationship is established through a written agreement, ensuring clear terms and mutual consent between the agent and the client. Which of the following scenarios would terminate an agency relationship under Delaware law? Is it A, a change in client's financial status, B, death of the client, C, agent's relocation, or D, client's dissatisfaction? The answer is B, death of the client. An agency relationship can terminate due to mutual agreement, fulfillment of the contract's purpose, or by operation of law, such as the death of the client or agent. In Delaware, what must an agent disclose to their client according to agency law? Is it A, personal opinions, B, market speculation, C, competitors' strategies, or D, material facts? The answer is D, material facts. Agents must disclose all material facts that could affect the client's decisions, including conflicts of interest, to maintain transparency and trust in the agency relationship.
Stuck on a question? Just think of the Birdsy link in the description as your friendly neighborhood superhero, swooping in to save the day with answers. Feel free to explore it now and return to continue. Simply hit pause, and we'll be waiting when you get back.
Fiduciary duties and client representation. In Delaware, which fiduciary duty requires an agent to act in the best interest of the client, even if it conflicts with the agent's own interests? Is it A, confidentiality, B, disclosure, C, loyalty, or D, reasonable care? The answer is C, loyalty. The duty of loyalty mandates that an agent must prioritize the client's interests above their own, ensuring that all actions taken are for the client's benefit. Which fiduciary duty obligates a Delaware real estate agent to fully inform a client about all material facts concerning a transaction? Is it A, disclosure, B, obedience, C, accounting, or D, care? The answer is A, disclosure. The duty of disclosure requires agents to inform clients of all material facts that could affect their decisions in a transaction, ensuring informed consent. What is the primary ethical concern when a Delaware real estate agent represents both the buyer and seller in a transaction? Is it A, increased commission, B, conflict of interest, C, lack of confidentiality, or D, delayed transactions? The answer is B, conflict of interest. Dual agency can lead to conflicts of interest, as the agent must balance the interests of both parties, which can compromise fiduciary duties like loyalty and disclosure. Which fiduciary duty requires a Delaware agent to follow all lawful instructions from their client? Is it A, loyalty, B, confidentiality, C, disclosure, or D, obedience? The answer is D, obedience. The duty of obedience obligates agents to adhere to all legal instructions given by their clients, ensuring that the client's directives are respected and followed. Delaware Ethics Guidelines and Enforcement. What is the primary purpose of the Delaware Real Estate Commission's Code of Ethics? Is it A, to increase real estate sales, B, to ensure trust and integrity in real estate transactions, C, to regulate commission rates, or D, to manage real estate advertising? The answer is B, to ensure trust and integrity in real estate transactions. The Code of Ethics is designed to maintain high standards of conduct among real estate professionals, ensuring trust and integrity in transactions for the benefit of the public. Under Delaware law, which action is considered unethical for a real estate agent? Is it A, misrepresenting property details, B, holding open houses, C, negotiating commission rates, or D, providing market analysis? The answer is A, misrepresenting property details. Misrepresenting property details is unethical as it breaches the duty of honesty and transparency, which are core principles of Delaware's ethical guidelines for real estate agents. Which entity is responsible for enforcing ethical standards in Delaware real estate? Is it A, National Association of Realtors, B, Delaware Department of Finance, C, Delaware Real Estate Commission, or D, Federal Trade Commission? The answer is C, Delaware Real Estate Commission. The Delaware Real Estate Commission enforces ethical standards, ensuring compliance with state laws and guidelines to protect consumers and maintain professional integrity. What is a potential consequence for a Delaware real estate agent found violating ethical guidelines? Is it A, increased commission rates, B, mandatory community service, C, public recognition, or D, license suspension? The answer is D, license suspension. Violations of ethical guidelines can lead to license suspension, which serves as a deterrent and ensures compliance with professional standards. Now, let's take a look at Delaware property valuation. Basic principles of property valuation. What is the primary purpose of a property valuation in Delaware? Is it A, to establish the highest possible price for sale, B, to calculate property tax obligations, C, to determine the property's market value, or D, to assess the property's insurance premium? The answer is C, to determine the property's market value. Property valuation aims to determine a property's market value for purposes such as taxation, sale, or mortgage lending. Understanding this helps stakeholders make informed financial decisions. Which principle of property valuation states that a property's value is influenced by the cost of acquiring an equally desirable property? Is it A, principle of substitution, B, principle of anticipation, C, principle of contribution, or D, principle of conformity? The answer is A, principle of substitution. The principle of substitution indicates that a property's value is affected by the cost of acquiring a similar property, underscoring market competition and buyer options. How does the principle of highest and best use apply in property valuation? Is it A, by identifying the most aesthetically pleasing use of the property, B, by determining the most profitable legal use of the property, C, by considering the current use as the only factor, or D, by evaluating the historical uses of the property? The answer is B, by determining the most profitable legal use of the property. The highest and best use principle determines the most profitable legal use of a property, guiding valuation by maximizing potential income and property utility. What role does the principle of anticipation play in property valuation? Is it A, it evaluates the current market trends affecting property value, B, it assesses the impact of property location on value, C, it considers the cost of improvements on the property, or D, it reflects future benefits affecting current property value? The answer is D, it reflects future benefits affecting current property value. Anticipation in valuation reflects how expected future benefits impact current property value, emphasizing the importance of future income and utility in determining worth. Sales comparison, cost, and income approaches. Which approach to property valuation is most suitable for a newly constructed building in Delaware? Is it A, sales comparison approach, B, cost approach, C, income approach, or D, market approach? The answer is B, cost approach. The cost approach is ideal for newly constructed buildings as it estimates value based on the cost of constructing a duplicate property minus depreciation, reflecting current construction costs. In the sales comparison approach, which factor is most critical when selecting comparable properties? Is it A, age of the property, B, size of the property, C, condition of the property, or D, proximity to the subject property? The answer is D, proximity to the subject property. The proximity of comparable properties is crucial as it ensures that local market conditions and neighborhood characteristics are similar, providing a more accurate valuation. What is a key limitation of the income approach in property valuation? Is it A, it requires extensive market data, B, it is not applicable to owner-occupied properties, C, assumes stable income streams, or D, it does not consider property depreciation? The answer is C, assumes stable income streams. The income approach assumes a stable income stream, which may not be realistic for properties with fluctuating rental incomes or in volatile markets, limiting its applicability. How does the sales comparison approach adjust for differences in property features? Is it A, by making value adjustments, B, by ignoring minor differences, C, by averaging comparable prices, or D, by using a fixed percentage adjustment? The answer is A, by making value adjustments. Adjustments are made by adding or subtracting value to account for differences in features between the subject and comparable properties, ensuring an accurate comparison. Let's continue with Delaware real estate financing. Mortgage loans and financing options. What is a unique feature of Delaware's adjustable rate mortgage compared to a fixed rate mortgage? Is it A, the interest rate remains constant, B, the interest rate can change over time, C, they require a higher down payment, or D, they are only available for investment properties? The answer is B, the interest rate can change over time. Delaware's ARMs offer an initial lower interest rate that adjusts over time, potentially leading to lower initial payments compared to fixed-rate mortgages, which maintain a constant rate throughout the loan term. Which of the following is a requirement for obtaining a conventional mortgage in Delaware? Is it A, a good credit score, B, a government insurance premium, C, proof of Delaware residency for 5 years, or D, a cosigner from Delaware? The answer is A, a good credit score. A good credit score is crucial for securing a conventional mortgage as it indicates financial reliability to lenders. This requirement is consistent with national lending standards. How does Delaware's FHA loan program benefit first-time homebuyers? Is it A, by offering zero interest rates, B, by eliminating closing costs, C, by requiring a lower down payment, or D, by providing free home insurance? The answer is C, by requiring a lower down payment. The FHA loan program offers lower down payment requirements and more lenient credit score criteria, making it accessible for first-time homebuyers who may not qualify for conventional loans. What is one advantage of a VA loan for eligible veterans in Delaware? Is it A, higher interest rates, B, no down payment requirement, C, mandatory private mortgage insurance, or D, limited to first-time homebuyers? The answer is B, no down payment requirement. VA loans offer the benefit of no down payment, which can significantly reduce the upfront costs for eligible veterans, making homeownership more accessible.
Don't forget to comment below with your tips, challenges, and thoughts on exam preparation. Your experiences can make a big difference for others.
Loan applications and approval processes. In Delaware, which factor is most critical when assessing a borrower's eligibility for a mortgage loan? Is it A, loan amount requested, B, credit score, C, property location, or D, employment history? The answer is B, credit score. In Delaware, a borrower's credit score is crucial as it reflects their creditworthiness and ability to repay the loan. Lenders use this to determine loan approval and interest rates. What is the typical debt-to-income ratio limit for mortgage approval in Delaware? Is it A, 30%, B, 50%, C, 43%, or D, 60%? The answer is C, 43%. In Delaware, lenders generally prefer a debt-to-income ratio of 43% or lower, as it indicates that the borrower can manage their monthly debts comfortably along with a new loan. Which document is essential for verifying a borrower's income during the loan application process in Delaware? Is it A, bank statements, B, credit report, C, tax, or D, pay stubs? The answer is D, pay stubs are crucial as they provide a detailed record of a borrower's earnings, allowing lenders to verify income stability and sufficiency for loan repayment. What is the primary role of an underwriter in the loan approval process in Delaware? Is it A, assess risk and approve or deny the loan, B, set the interest rate for the loan, C, appraise the property value, or D, collect documentation from the borrower? The answer is A, assess risk and approve or deny the loan. An underwriter evaluates the risk associated with a loan application by assessing the borrower's financial information, ensuring compliance with lending criteria and guidelines. Delaware mortgage disclosure requirements. What is the primary purpose of the Delaware mortgage disclosure requirements? Is it A, to increase lender profits, B, to simplify the application process, C, to ensure transparency and protect consumers, or D, to reduce paperwork for lenders? The answer is C, to ensure transparency and protect consumers. The Delaware mortgage disclosure requirements aim to ensure transparency and protect consumers by providing clear information about mortgage terms and costs before the transaction is finalized. Which document is crucial for borrowers to receive under Delaware mortgage disclosure requirements before closing? Is it A, mortgage note, B, loan estimate, C, deed of trust, or D, appraisal report? The answer is B, loan estimate. The loan estimate is a key document that borrowers must receive, detailing the estimated costs and terms of the mortgage, ensuring informed decision-making. How many days before closing must the closing disclosure be provided to the borrower under Delaware law? Is it A, 3 business days, B, 1 week, C, 5 business days, or D, 2 weeks? The answer is A, 3 business days. The closing disclosure must be provided to the borrower at least 3 business days before closing, allowing time to review the final terms and costs. What must be included in the loan estimate according to Delaware mortgage disclosure requirements? Is it A, borrower's credit score, B, appraisal value, C, property tax history, or D, estimated closing costs? The answer is D, estimated closing costs. The loan estimate must include the loan amount, interest rate, monthly payment, and estimated closing costs, providing a comprehensive overview for the borrower. Delaware-specific loan programs. Which Delaware-specific loan program is designed to assist first-time homebuyers with down payment and closing cost assistance? Is it A, Delaware First-Time Homebuyer Program, B, Delaware Mortgage Relief Program, C, Delaware Housing Preservation Program, or D, Delaware Rental Assistance Program? The answer is A, Delaware First-Time Homebuyer Program. The Delaware First-Time Homebuyer Program offers financial assistance for down payments and closing costs, making homeownership more accessible. It targets first-time buyers to encourage homeownership in the state. What is the primary purpose of the Delaware State Housing Authority's Home Ownership Loan Program? Is it A, to refinance existing home loans, B, to offer affordable mortgage options, C, to fund home renovation projects, or D, to provide rental assistance? The answer is B, to offer affordable mortgage options. The Delaware State Housing Authority's Homeownership Loan Program aims to provide affordable mortgage options to low and moderate income individuals, promoting sustainable homeownership across the state. Which of the following is a key feature of the Delaware Housing Assistance Loan Program? Is it A, provides grants for home purchase, B, offers low-interest renovation loans, C, offers interest-free loans for emergencies, or D, provides long-term rental contracts? The answer is C, offers interest-free loans for emergencies. The Delaware Housing Assistance Loan Program offers interest-free loans for emergency housing needs, providing crucial support for those facing financial difficulties in maintaining their housing stability. What is the eligibility requirement for the Delaware State Housing Authority's Homeownership Loan Program? Is it A, must be a veteran, B, must own a business in Delaware, C, must be a first-time homebuyer, or D, must meet income limits? The answer is D, must meet income limits. Eligibility for this program requires applicants to meet income limits, ensuring that the assistance is directed towards low and moderate income families, fostering equitable access to home ownership. Delaware State Housing Authority. What is the primary role of the Delaware State Housing Authority? Is it A, to regulate real estate agents in Delaware, B, to provide affordable housing solutions and financial assistance, C, to manage Delaware's state budget, or D, to oversee environmental regulations in housing? The answer is B, to provide affordable housing solutions and financial assistance. The DSHA's primary role is to provide affordable housing solutions and financial assistance for low to moderate income families in Delaware. It aims to improve housing opportunities and stabilize communities. Which program is offered by the DSHA to assist first-time homebuyers? Is it A, Rental Assistance Program, B, Housing Rehabilitation Program, C, Homeownership Loan Program, or D, Mortgage Relief Program? The answer is C, Homeownership Loan Program. The DSHA offers the Homeownership Loan Program to assist first-time homebuyers with down payment and closing cost assistance, making homeownership more accessible in Delaware. How does the DSHA support low-income renters in Delaware? Is it A, through rental assistance programs, B, by providing mortgage loans, C, by offering tax incentives, or D, through property management services? The answer is A, through rental assistance programs. The DSHA supports low-income renters through rental assistance programs, which help cover the cost of rent, ensuring housing affordability and stability for eligible families. What is the DSHA's approach to addressing homelessness in Delaware? Is it A, providing direct cash assistance, B, offering home repair grants, C, implementing rent control measures, or D, funding shelters and transitional housing programs? The answer is D, funding shelters and transitional housing programs. The DSHA addresses homelessness by funding shelters and transitional housing programs, providing essential support and resources to help individuals and families transition to stable housing. Let's review Delaware disclosure requirements and forms. Delaware-specific disclosure requirements. What is required by Delaware's seller's disclosure of real property condition report? Is it A, only the property's aesthetic details, B, known defects and conditions affecting the property, C, future potential issues based on market trends, or D, the property's market value as determined by an appraiser? The answer is B, known defects and conditions affecting the property. The seller's disclosure of real property condition report requires sellers to disclose known defects and conditions of the property, including structural issues, environmental hazards, and legal matters affecting the property. In Delaware, when must the seller's disclosure of real property condition report be provided to the buyer? Is it A, before the buyer makes an offer, B, after the buyer's offer is accepted, C, at the closing of the sale, or D, only if the buyer requests it? The answer is A, before the buyer makes an offer. The report must be provided before the buyer makes an offer on the property. This ensures the buyer is fully informed about the property's condition before committing. Which of the following is not a required disclosure under Delaware law? Is it A, structural issues of the property, B, environmental hazards affecting the property, C, seller's financial history, or D, legal matters affecting the property? The answer is C, seller's financial history. Delaware law requires disclosures about structural issues, environmental hazards, and legal matters affecting the property, but not the seller's financial history. What is the purpose of the Delaware lead paint disclosure? Is it A, to assess the property's market value, B, to enhance the property's aesthetic appeal, C, to provide a warranty on the property's condition, or D, to inform about potential lead hazards in older properties? The answer is D, to inform about potential lead hazards in older properties. The Delaware lead paint disclosure aims to inform buyers and tenants of potential lead paint hazards in properties built before 1978, promoting safety and awareness of health risks associated with lead exposure. Commonly used Delaware forms. Which form is typically used to disclose lead-based paint hazards in residential properties built before 1978 in Delaware? Is it A, lead-based paint disclosure, B, seller's disclosure of property condition, C, radon disclosure, or D, environmental disclosure? The answer is A, lead-based paint disclosure. The lead-based paint disclosure form is required for properties built before 1978 to inform buyers or renters of any known lead-based paint hazards, ensuring compliance with federal regulations. What is the purpose of the seller's disclosure of real property condition report in Delaware? Is it A, to assess the property's market value, B, to inform potential buyers about the property's condition, C, to finalize the sale of the property, or D, to negotiate the property's sale price? The answer is B, to inform potential buyers about the property's condition. The seller's disclosure of real property condition report provides potential buyers with information about the property's condition, ensuring transparency and helping buyers make informed decisions. When is the radon disclosure form required in Delaware real estate transactions? Is it A, only for commercial properties, B, for properties built before 1978, C, for all residential property sales, or D, only if requested by the buyer? The answer is C, for all residential property sales. The radon disclosure form is required when selling residential properties in Delaware to inform buyers about any known radon levels, ensuring awareness of potential health risks. What information is typically included in the Delaware Consent for Dual Agency form? Is it A, details about the property's condition, B, the estimated closing costs, C, the buyer's financing options, or D, disclosure of potential conflicts of interest? The answer is D, disclosure of potential conflicts of interest. The Consent for Dual Agency form outlines the potential conflicts of interest and the nature of representation when a real estate agent represents both buyer and seller in a transaction. Specific procedures for transactions. What must a seller disclose to a potential buyer in Delaware when selling a property? Is it A, the seller's personal financial status, B, the proximity of the nearest school, C, known material defects of the property, or D, the previous owner's occupation? The answer is C, known material defects of the property. In Delaware, sellers must disclose known material defects of the property to potential buyers. This is to ensure buyers are fully informed about the property's condition before purchasing. Which document is essential for a seller to provide in a Delaware real estate transaction? Is it A, seller's disclosure of real property condition report, B, title insurance policy, C, homeowners association agreement, or D, mortgage pre-approval letter? The answer is A, seller's disclosure of real property condition report. The seller's disclosure of real property condition report is a mandatory document in Delaware, ensuring that buyers are informed about the property's condition and any potential issues. In Delaware, when is the seller's disclosure of real property condition report required to be provided? Is it A, after the buyer's offer is accepted, B, before the buyer makes an offer, C, at the closing of the transaction, or D, when the buyer requests it? The answer is B, before the buyer makes an offer. The seller's disclosure of real property condition report must be provided before the buyer makes an offer, ensuring the buyer is fully informed about the property's condition. What is the consequence of failing to provide the seller's disclosure of real property condition report in Delaware? Is it A, the seller pays a fine, B, the transaction is automatically void, C, the seller must lower the sale price, or D, the buyer can rescind the contract? The answer is D, the buyer can rescind the contract. Failure to provide the required disclosure can lead to legal repercussions, including the buyer rescinding the contract or seeking damages for any undisclosed defects.
Thanks for joining us today. If you found this video helpful, subscribe to our channel for more practice exams, tips, and tricks. And don't forget to visit Birdsy.ai for complimentary study sessions with Birdsy, your AI-powered study partner.